So yeah, Jimmy Kimmel has been ousted. ABC internally was didn't think he said anything wrong because he didn't, but they were terrified of the FCC bringing regulatory action against Kimmel and the network, so they preemptively canned him. In addition to that, the Sinclair Media Group, which owns hundreds and hundreds of media channels across the country. I mean, they're affiliated with everyone, you know. You know how every local news station is like NBC number or Fox number or whatever, CNN number? You have them like spread out all across the country. Sinclair owns a lot of local news. It's been the subject of much controversy in the past. Controversy in the public eye, I mean, not controversy legally. Legally, monopoly is encouraged. Sinclair is saying that rather than show Jimmy Kimmel, they are going to host a 1-hour Charlie Kirk in memoriam. In addition, they are saying that they will not air Jimmy Kimmel again until Kimmel apologizes publicly about what he said about Charlie Kirk, which all he did was speculate that the shooter might have been MAGA. That's it. He didn't make any disparaging comments about Kirk, not one. And he said that Kimmel should make a personal donation to TPUSA. We live in North Korea now, I'm sorry to say. Very unfortunate. Humiliation ritual? Yes. Disney stock lost almost nothing? Yeah, of course not. Boycotts don't actually do anything. At least not against companies like Disney. They own everything. I can't overstate, by the way, like, the FCC did not even put out any official condemnation of what Kimmel had said. He was on a Benny Johnson podcast, the Left Can't Meme guy. He was on the podcast of Benny Johnson, and he was like, speculating maybe he'd look into it. That was all it took for ABC to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. I think our First Amendment days might be done. We are entering a dark period. Yeah, of course, this is all a joke to MAGA, obviously. Every single person who supports Trump has absolutely no problem with the weaponization of the state to silence dissidents. They literally want to make it illegal to criticize them, which, by the way, again, Trump has made this his position for years. Literally since his first term, he has been open about the fact that he wants it to be illegal to criticize him. It's not ambiguous. Anyway, they're all guffawing over it. It's a huge joke. It's hilarious to them, of course. I'm sure they're going to be like super duper epically owned by a liberal going on Twitter right now and posting that this is hypocritical of them. Unfortunately, that big legal battle that we want is never going to come if corporations keep preemptively kowtowing to the administration. Will Kimmel do it? Apologize and donate? Who knows? Maybe. Keep in mind that these demands aren't even coming from the FCC. They're coming from the Sinclair Media Group, a massive media monopoly that is demanding that you pay fealty to your dead Hitler podcaster before they'll work with you again. Is there even a red line for them anymore? No. And the Sinclair Media Group has been looking to do this for a long time, so it's not exactly like new on that front. John Oliver, get behind me? Yeah, seriously. We'll see how things go. Well, HBO isn't regulated by the FCC, right? HBO isn't part of like cable television, so they don't have to worry about FCC pressure. Why do you say they're looking to do this for a long time? Because the Sinclair Media Group is objectively evil. The Sinclair Media Group has been wanting this for a long time. They are openly partisan, and they openly side with Republicans. They are evil people. They're demonic. They have wanted this for ages. Now they're capitalizing on it. That's why they're gloating over this. There's nothing about this that requires them to demand that Jimmy Kimmel make a public apology. Oh, sorry, not cable and broadcast. Yeah, HBO is cable, not broadcast. My apologies, I got the term mixed up. Doesn't Sinclair have a merger they're waiting on FCC approval for as well? For one, I don't know. And for two, Sinclair never needs to worry about Trump's approval for any kind of merger. Sinclair is openly partisan and has been for a long time. They are far right. So it's not really capitulating to the administration. Sinclair wants this. John Oliver made this Sinclair montage years ago. Yeah, I don't know if I can show it on stream, unfortunately. Because it's literally copyrighted content made up of bits and pieces of other copyrighted content.
Sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things that aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what.
Just a tiny fraction of the channels they own, by the way. Yeah, normally Sinclair isn't that heavy-handed, but they put they gave that memo to be read by basically everyone who they own, and it was everyone. So, you know, it's crazy the right's been sowing the seed of media takeover since the 80s. I'm going to bring it back to what I said earlier, man, okay? Any real capital L liberal would look at this situation at a moment's glance and go, holy shit, this is like incompatible with democracy. But Democrats have failed to do this. Democrats have failed time and time again to uphold the standards of the ideology they're supposed to be the champions of. This is not like a right versus left culture war. This is a right pushing where it can, the left, at least in the context of the Democrats, acquiescing or pretending not to notice. And now we're all surprised when this is biting us in the ass. Yeah, when you let corporations run rampant, when you allow for regulatory capture for decades to get worse and worse, when you shut down standards on monopolization, trust busting, media conglomerates and mergers, yeah, like inevitably, you're setting up a powder keg, and somebody will eventually light the match. It's like letting a cancer grow. Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's where we are right now. It's not like this is it's kind of ironic how mass media helped birth liberalism and is now strangling it. Yeah, it used to be bottom up, now it's top down. Speaking generally there, but honestly, I feel like the only real shot we have left is building local grassroots movements. Look, we're going to go through some difficult times. In all likelihood, at some point, they're going to come for independent left media as well. So enjoy the channel while it's here. All right? No matter what, there's a fact about the world that Republicans can't change, that the people in power broadly can't change. And it's that they are shit at governing. They cannot make you happy. They can't make the world better. The world is only going to get worse. Climate change, capital accumulation, the debt crisis. There are a million mountains that need to be hurdled over in the near future, and they can't handle any of them. They can't handle minor challenges, let alone those. Things are only going to get worse. And for that reason, people will not maintain indefinite confidence in the administration. It doesn't matter how many people they censor. They're not going to make them loved. It's not possible. So you have to keep that fire in your heart, okay? No matter how bad things get, the fundamental truth that has been the case for all of human history, regardless of the regime or the style of government or the style of the economy or whatever else, is that leaders fear the people. There is always a numbers game, and it is always, always in our favor. And they're aware of that. And that's why no matter how dictatorial or authoritarian they are, they always have to take steps to placate, to manage, to propagandize. It's always a battle they have to fight. They can never ignore it. And when people do ignore it, they lose and something new comes. So don't give up, all right? Was this always inevitable? After J6, I think so. After the failure to respond to January 6th, yeah, I think so. October 7th also sealed the deal when all of the Democrats fell in line to defend objectively illiberal governments, people, and policies, to lie openly in a way that sowed distrust against them. There wasn't much of a reason to trust the Democrats before October 7th and their response to it, but after the way they responded to the campus protests, the way they bought into every right-wing lie about the propagation of anti-Semitism, the idea that all of these protests of earnest young people fighting against college students in New York, like the idea that these were motivated by anti-Semitism, all of these purple-haired, nose-piercing individuals talking about things like mass starvation, like this was an anti-Semitic thing. They bought into it, they played into it, and they did it cynically because they don't believe in anything. They didn't think it was real. They just play into what they know works, and what they know works is the extremely lucrative political and corporate relations that we have with Israel, particularly with regards to surveillance and the military-industrial complex. So they kept with that, and now we are where we are. They have failed liberalism. It's not just like a lefty thing. We're not arguing about leftism here. We're arguing about the right to allow liberalism to continue to exist, which it seems that it won't, at least for some length of time. Hey, Vosh, thanks for convincing me to stop buying and smoking weed. Now I can waste my money on more Warhammer models. At least when the Gestapo come for you, you can use those models to convince them you're a chud. Just make sure they're not Tau. Again, keep in mind that so far, Trump has failed to do anything like this. Like any actual legal action taken by the FCC, he hasn't done it. All he's done is get corporations to bend the knee in advance. CBS, ABC, all these lawsuits, the New York Times lawsuit, the not the WAPO, the Wall Street Journal lawsuit. So far, none of them have worked. Not one. We're coming up, nearing a year in the administration. Not a single one of these legal attacks have worked. Every time ground is given, it's because corporations bent the knee. And people like Pritzker prove that if you stand your ground, he just gives up. Yeah, to an extent. Chance he comes for guns? He's not going to come for guns. The Trump administration is not even a little bit afraid of like regular civilians having guns. Also, it's kind of a hard target. Remember, somebody in the Trump administration proposed taking guns away from trans people, and when that rumor leaked, the NRA officially came out against it. We watched chud gun tubers be like, I don't understand why these transes want to cut their bits and tackle off, but God gave us all the right to own 27 AR-15 platform. You know, it's like, God bless them, I guess, for the one rare bit of right-wing consistency. Assuming the Democrats win 2028, how will they undo this damage? They won't. It's not possible for the Democratic Party as it exists right now to undo this damage. They cannot do it. It's like, it's unthinkable. You might as well ask, like, you put a child on site at like a demolition construction site and ask them, well, how are you going to take the rubble apart, you know? Well, first you have to be stronger, and you also need a team of 50 people. You're so far away from doing this.